Perimeters of reciprocity uses physical acts of giving and receiving to create a self-perpetuating cycle of care with the Aldinga Washpool. Country is literally centered, with design interventions focused around the perimeter of the site rather than within. The Washpool is one of the last coastal freshwater ecosystems in South Australia. Sediment deposition from the hills, along with stormwater runoff from local developments, is degrading the local ecosystem and leading to lower inundation periods. The lack of water impacts how the landscape is read and weakens the spiritual ties to place. This project is informed by Nature Glenelg Trust's report for management of the Washpool and the concept of living water, whereby all relationships around water are reciprocal. If the Washpool is healthy, people are healthy. At a broader scale, this project's proposed interventions involve reforestation in the hills to reduce erosion and physically connecting to the broader Aldinga Conservation Park with an under-road animal tunnel. It also proposes the closure of local open-pit mining to reduce airborne sediment deposition and connecting to local school curriculums to encourage connection to country at an early age.
The planned intentions are to be deployed in stages, initially setting a foundation for development, protecting the bounds of the Washpool in areas that have been highlighted for their cultural significance. Stage 1 reconstructs the hydrological conditions of the Washpool, using removed sediment to build a levee. After monitoring winter inundation, Stage 2 introduces the seasonal passage and aquifer shower, while the Wallaby Grass Swale manages urban runoff. Stage 3 connects the tangible and intangible elements of reciprocity and culture, with the repatriation grounds to return and rebury those lost to time, while Ghana-led planting regenerates the island in the Washpool as a safe haven for native flora and fauna. Stage 4 looks at the future of the Washpool in the form of cultural gatherings, school trips, annual burn-offs of Ghania, and monitoring fish migration. Policy management and land buybacks will help transition the Silver Sands development into native scrublands. Perimeters of reciprocity consist of 4 main interactive intentions scattered around the now protected bounds of the Washpool. Each explores varied acts of giving and receiving through the role of earth in the repatriation grounds and sediment classroom, and water in the aquifer shower and seasonal passage, all with strong connections to place through culture, flora, and fauna.
Each of the 4 interventions activate throughout different periods of the year in relationship to other characters of the Washpool. The use of the aquifer shower coincides with the dry season, allowing water to maintain a presence on the site. The seasonal passage activates in the winter, integrating with Galaxia's breeding cycle. The repatriation grounds acts as a cultural site in the dry season, and the sedimentation classroom captures sediment during the wet and opens up into a learning space as the weather subsides.
The aquifer shower reimagines the classic Aussie beach shower as a vessel to share hydrological knowledge and to re-establish a reciprocal relationship within the Washpool. The shower is to be built by the local Aldinga Penanthi College to encourage community custodianship. The aquifer shower draws water from the Quaternary aquifer by hand pump for use by beachgoers to wash sand off themselves. During high use in summer, the runoff will form a mini washpool for local flora and fauna at a time when water is limited. The sand will settle on the surface, and the water will slowly recharge back into the aquifer, keeping water in motion as a self-perpetuating cycle. The seasonal passage is an element of necessity when regenerating the Washpool's hydrology. The spillway not only retains water held by the levee, but also gives passage to surplus water out to sea. Incorporating a vertical slot fishway, this human-made structure allows for the natural migration of the common Galaxius up and downstream during high tides and inundation levels in spring and winter. Nestled into the levee and rendered in sediment from the site, the spillway addresses the eco-hydrological needs of the Washpool, while not distorting how the landscape is read.
The The southern beach pathway along the dunes provides an opportunity to allow for the act of giving to physically manifest as a site for return and reburial. Loose earth will be compacted over time as stolen artifacts and remains are given back to the Washpool. The grounds are perpendicular to the Gilbrookie Spring, which will be zoned off along with the dunes as both a physical gesture to prevent access and a symbolic gesture to represent the Gilbrookie Dreamtime story. Acting as a learning space to integrate into the local school's curriculum and a barrier to sediment arriving through the inlet, the sediment classroom sits along the Garnier in the northeast corner of the Washpool, overlooking the site into the sea. A small-scale sediment basin catches sediment with native reeds. In summer, community gatherings can take place to remove the sediment from the inlet as an act of reciprocity with the Washpool and educate the next generation on place and country. Through deep mappings to draw connections across spatial and temporal scales, we can delve into what is literally and figuratively below the surface. Layers of earth built up over millennia, painted with hidden cultures. Developing a long-term mutual relationship with the Aldinga Washpool by focusing on reciprocity encourages a mutual nourishment. Kimmerer describes keeping nature's gift in motion, a constant information exchange, to keep country healthy, and therefore the community healthy. Acts of repatriation and return, and the exchange of water with the aquifers below, allows for the practice of landscape architecture to meet aspirations of both the Kaurna people and broader Indigenous community, and be able to reinforce that places like the Aldinga Washpool is, and always was, a Kaurna place.